Welcome guys to this another video, and in today's video I want to look at a past City and Guilds math paper, and this is a stage 2 paper, set 1 to be exact. Alright, and in this video we are going to be looking at question 1 to 10. And the thing about City and Guilds, guys, it does not allow for the use of a calculator. Alright, so as you can see in the instruction here, the use of a calculator is not permitted. All right, thus whatever working out we want to carry out, we have to do so without a calculator. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how you can carry out some of these workings. All right, so here let's look at question 1. Now question 1, what is 1.3 million in figures? All right, now the reason why this is 1.3 million and not 1.3 meters is because we have a dollar sign here. All right, so once we have this dollar sign here, it means we're talking about money. All right, so this wouldn't be 1.3 meters, it would actually be 1.3 million. Now 1.3 million is the same thing as 1,300,000. all right, and option 3 here meets that criteria. All right, so this is $1,300,000. all right, so now we're looking at question 2. What is $10,034 in words? All right, and we're going to look for it just as how we just read it. So $10,034, that would be option C right here. All right, what about question 3? In which one of these numbers does 6 have the value of 6/10? All right, now if you guys are familiar with the place value chart, it can really help you out in a situation like this one. So let's say we had our decimal point here, so this is our decimal column. Now to the right of the decimal column we'll have our 10th column. After that we'll have our 100th column, and after that we'll have our 1000th column, and so on and so forth. All right, now to the left of the decimal point we'll have our ones column. All right, next we'll have our tens column. After that we'll have our hundreds column. All right, and next we'll have our thousand column, and so on and so forth. Now what we want to do, we know that our decimal point, this is our decimal column. What we can do, we can try these numbers in the place value chart to see which number allow for the digit, the 6th, to be in the 10th place. All right, now let us try option A. All right, so we have the 3. So the 3 is left of the decimal point. After the decimal point we'll have the 6, then we'll have the 7. All right, and no need to go any further. All right, because here we can see that the 6 is in the 10th place, which means A would be our answer. So no need to try the other options. All right, so A would be our answer right there. Now here we are with question 4. All right, so Jane is 4 feet 5 inches tall. Her brother Alan is 5 feet 1 inch. All right, now they gave us the unit convergence, so 12 inches is equal to 1 foot, and they're asking us now how much taller than Jane is Alan. All right, so they want to know how much taller is her brother than herself. All right, in other words, how much taller is Alan than Jane? All right, now we can do some subtraction here. All we need to do is to subtract Jane's height from Alan's height. All right, now recall the height is given in 2 separate units, feet and inches. All right, now we know that Alan is 5 feet 1 inch. All right, and we also know that Jane is 4 feet 5 inches. All right, so what we want to do now is to subtract Jane's height from Alan's height. All right, and let's see what we'll get. Now can we get 5 inches from 1 inch? No, that wouldn't be possible. All right, So what we want to do here, we want to borrow from the feet column. All right, so we're going to take 1 foot from the 5 feet here, leaving 4 feet. Now when we bring that 1 foot over the inches section, that 1 foot would be equivalent to 12 inches. All right, so recall 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. All right, so when we bring that 1 foot across, it will be equivalent to 12 inches. Now 12 inches, so we need to add that 12 inches to the 1 inch that we already have here, and 12 inches plus 1 inch will give us what? There you go, 13 inches. All right, now 5 inches from 13 inches will give us what? 8 inches. All right, and 4 feet from 4 feet is 0 feet, so no need to write that down. All right, so therefore our answer would actually be 8 inches. All right, and that would be option B right here. Now let us look at question 5. All right, so a dressmaker has a roll of material 6 meters long. She needs to cut lengths of material that measures 25 centimeters each. How many lengths can she cut from the roll? Now recall that the roll is what? 6 meters long. All right, now we want to know how many material that measures 25 centimeters can she get from the 6 meter roll. All right, now a key thing that you guys should observe here is that the measurements are given in 2 different units. All right, so here we have meters, here we're talking about centimeters. Now what is good for us to do is to ensure that both units are the same. All right, then we can find out how much of what we can get from the other. All right, now what we're going to do here, we're going to convert the meters to centimeters. Of course, you could have also convert the 25 centimeters to meters as well. Once both units are the same, then it's pretty much workable. All right, now key thing to note, all right, is that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. All right, very important thing to note. Now what we can always use is proportion to deal with a problem like this. All right, I really like the concept of proportion. Proportion pretty much means 2 fractions that are equal to each other. So we can set up a proportion here. We have a heading meter, we have another centimeter. Now we know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. All right, and if you guys don't know how, you might be wondering, how do I know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter? All right, now we have this cool thing that we use. All right, it's a phrase to help us remember. Kick him down, boy, don't commit murder. All right, now K here stands for kilo, H here stands for hectare, the D here stands for deca, the B stands for the base unit. All right, the D here stands for deci, the C here stands for centi, the M stands for milli. All right, there you go. Now you might be wondering, I know many of you guys would be familiar with these prefixes, but you might be wondering, what do I mean by base unit? Now the base unit would be like meter. All right, some examples here: gram, liter, etc. All right, now the prefix goes before the base unit. So we have like kilometer, kilogram, hectometer, hectogram, decameter, decagram. All right, we have decimeter, decigram, centimeter, centigram, millimeter, milligram. All right, so that's pretty much that. Now to convert from one unit to the next, all right, so every move we make, we multiply by 10. All right, so every move that we make, multiply by 10. All right, now no need to say. All right, by now you guys should figure out that our base unit in this particular question would be meter, because talking about meter and centimeter. All right, so what we want to know is how many centimeter will give us 1 meter. All right, so in other words, we want to know how much will it take us to move from the centi to the base unit. All right, that would be 10. So every move is 10, so 10 times 10. All right, so we have to multiply by 10 twice. All right, so 10 times 10 is 100. All right, so that's how we know that it takes 100 centimeter to get 1 meter. All right, hopefully that makes a lot of sense. All right, now that you guys know that, what we want to do now, we want to draw our fraction bar here. Recall that the concept of proportion simply refers to two fractions that are equal to each other. All right, now what we want to know is how much centimeters can we get from the 6 meters. All right, that we don't know as yet. Now what we can do here is to employ the concept of cross multiplication. All right, so we're going to cross multiply here. Let me get this out of our way. Now when we cross multiply, we multiply the terms diagonally. All right, so x times 1 will give us x. All right, 1 times anything remain the thing. 6 times 100 will give us 600. All right, and this would be centimeter. Notice the unknown, all right, was under the centimeter columns. All right, so that is pretty much how the proportion concept works. All right, and if you are still not clear on the proportion concept, please check the description section below. I have a very in-depth video on that. All right, direct proportion, which will help you guys better understand how proportion work. All right, so now that we know that 6 meter is the same thing as 600 centimeters, now the thing that we want to ask ourselves is how many times can 25 centimeters come out of 600 centimeters. All right, now let's see how we can make that work. In other words, the concept that we should be using here would be, of course, that's what it is, division. All right, so 25 into 600. All right, now 25 into 60 goes 2 times 25. That will give us a 50 right there. Now 50 from 60 will leave us with 10. Carry down the 0 here. 25 into 100 goes what? Goes 4 times. 4 times 25 will give us 100. 100 from 100. That's pretty much 0. Alright, so we're finished here. So in other words, we can get, let's see here, we can get materials that measure 25 centimeters from the 6 meter rule 24 times. All right, so C would be our answer right there. All right, and if you guys are not clear, cool thing about YouTube, you can always rewind the video and watch it again. All right, now we're looking at question 6. A pet shop owner buys large bags of dry cat food that contains 10 kilograms. He wants to make up bags that contains 200 grams of cat food. How many 200-gram bags of cat food can he make from one large bag? Alright. Now this question is pretty similar to the last question, and it also requires unit conversion. Alright. Then we can always determine how many 200 grams of cat food we can actually get from the 10 kilograms. Alright. So what we're going to do here, we're going to convert the 10 kilogram to gram, and again you could also convert this 200 gram to kilogram as well. Once the units are the same, that's all we need to make it work. All right, so again we can use the little phrase thing, kick him down, boy, don't commit murder. All right, and by now you should know what each of these represent. All right, so K is kilo, H is hectare, D is deca. Our base unit here would be grams because we're talking about kilograms and grams. All right, D, deci here, centi, and milli. All right, now let's see how many grams do we need to get 1 kilogram. All right, so the base unit is grams, so we want to see how many moves we have to make. Remember, every move we multiply by 10, so 10 times 10 times 10. All right, so that's 10 times 10 times 10, and when you multiply numbers like these, it's quite easy. All right, so we can just keep the 1 and add up the 0, so 10 times 10 times 10 would be 1,000. All right, that pretty much helps, or you can do it the long way. All right, now again we're going to use the proportion concept to solve this question. All right, so we have the two variables here. We're talking about kilogram and grams. Those are the two units. Now 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams as demonstrated here. All right, so you need 1,000 grams to get to 1 kilogram. Now what we want to convert here, we want to know what is 10 kilogram in grams. All right, so notice I want to find out what is 10 kilogram in grams. So the 10 kilogram, I have to put that 10 kilogram underneath the kilogram unit. All right, and I want to find out what is 10 kilogram in grams. So we use an X to represent what we don't know as yet. Of course, you could have used any other letter or symbols to do so, but you know, it's maths. We like to use X. All right, so now we can again employ the cross multiplication concept. So we can cross multiply here. X times 1 is X. Now 10 times 1,000 again is quite easy when you're multiplying with these types of numbers. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. All we need to do is to take the 0 from here and add it to this. All right, so now we have 4 zeros, so we're just going to have the 4 zeros here. So 10 times 1,000 will give us 10,000 grams. All right, again you could also multiply this using the long root, of course, but it's City and Guilds. We want to complete the exam in a timely manner, so it always helps to know some shortcuts. All right, now what we want to know now is how many 200 gram can we get out of this 10,000 gram right here. So we're going to do some division, and this time around I won't use long division. I'm going to set this thing up like a fraction. So this is how I'm going to set this up. All right, and you'll see why I do that. So I'm going to set it up like this time around. This is the same thing as how many times can 200 go into the 10,000 grams. All right, now what we can do here, a cool way, this is how we do it in Jamaica many times. So we can see what 0 cancel 0 here, 0 cancel 0. Then now we're dealing with 100 divided by 2. Now 2 into itself goes 1, 2 into 100 goes 50 times. So therefore our answer would be A right here. All right, so that's a cool way of doing it. Rather than using the long division method, you can do that. All right, so just making life a whole lot easier for yourself. Now let us look at question 7. All right, now we're looking at question 7. All right, so a dressmaker needs to replace an 8-inch zip. Which one of the following metric lengths is the nearest to 8 inches? All right, fair enough. Now what we need to know here is the conversion, the unit conversion from inches to centimeters. All right, because all the answers here, as you can see, they are in centimeters. All right, now what we want to know is that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. All right, now I guess they would round off this answer right here because they say which of the following metric lengths is the nearest to 8 inches. All right, so I guess whatever answer we get, we want to choose the answer that is closest to that. All right, now again we can use proportion to do this since we know the unit conversion. So inches, centimeters. All right, those are the 2 units. We know that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. Now what we want to know, what is 8 inches in centimeters? All right, and again we can employ the cross multiplication concept. X times 1 will give us x. 8 times 2.54. Remember, we can't use any calculator in City and Guild, so we're going to demonstrate some multiplication here. So I'm going to set it up like this. So 8 times 2.54. 8 times 4 will give us what? 32. So that's 2. Carry the 3 here. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 plus 3, that's 43. Carry the 3 here. Bring the 4 here. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 4, that's 20. Now we want to look at how many decimal places were involved in this question right here, and we only have 2 decimal places, so we represent those 2 decimal places there. All right, now what we want to know, which of these answers, and this would be in centimeters. All right, now I want to know which of these answers is closest to what we just got. That would be the 20 centimeters right here. All right, so C would be our answer. Now we're looking at question 8. All right, so what is 5 minutes to midnight on a 24-hour clock? All right, now when we're talking about a 24-hour clock, usually when we on the normal clock, when we reach to 12, then we go to 1 after 12 noon, then we have 1 p.m. The 24-hour clock doesn't work like that. So after 12 you would have 13. So 1 would be 13 on the 24-hour clock, 2 would be 14, 3 p.m. would be 15. All right, so that's basically how it works. All right, so 24 hours would represent 12 midnight. All right, so 5 minutes to that would actually be 23:55, which is the same thing as 11:55. All right, however, this wouldn't be our answer. 11:55 p.m. wouldn't be our answer, because they ask what is 5 minutes to midnight on a 24-hour clock. This is the key right here. All right, so that would be 23:55. All right, now let us look at question 9 here. The temperature in a freezer should be below negative 18 degrees Celsius. Which of the following would be a suitable temperature for the freezer compartment? All right, so we know that the temperature should be below negative 18 degrees Celsius. In other words, the temperature should be less than negative 18 degrees Celsius. Now what we want to do is to draw our number line here, just to give you guys a better understanding of this. And the moment they highlighted to us that the temperature in a freezer should be below negative 18 degrees Celsius, that simply means less than negative 18 degrees Celsius. All right, so let's say our 0 on the number line was here, then 1, positive 1 would be there, positive 2 would be here, positive 3 would be here. All right, so the more we go to the right on the number line, the greater the numbers become. All right, now to the left of 0 here, we'll have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and we want. Now I just skipped all of that, guys, to save on time. All right, so when we look at this, negative 18 would be somewhere around here. All right, diagram not drawn to scale. All right, now a number less than negative 18 would be negative 19 here. All right, might not be able to make it out quite clearly, but this would be negative 19. So the only figure here that is less than or below negative 18 would be negative 19 degrees Celsius. All right, which means D would be our answer right there. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Now to look at question 10, our final question in this video. What is 780 minus 44? All right, so this is 780 minus 44. All right, now can we get 4 from 0? No, we can't. So we're going to borrow from this 8 here, leaving 7. When we come over here, pretty much what we borrow here is 10. All right, notice the 8 is in the tens place. All right, so we borrow 10 from the 8, leaving 710. Now when we carry that 110 over the 1 section, it will be equivalent to 10 ones. So if we add 10 ones to 0, that will become 10 ones. All right, so 4 from 10 will give us 6. 4 from 7 will give us 3, and nothing from 7 is just 7. All right, so our answer here will be 736. All right, now don't worry yourself too much about the subtraction explanation here. I'll create an in-depth video so you guys can better understand what I was talking about here. If you don't understand that, what you could just simply do is old school. All right, so in Jamaica, especially if you're from Jamaica, you just borrow 1 from 8, as they always say, leaving 7. You carry the 1 here. 4 from 10 will give you 6. 4 from 7 is 3. Nothing from 7 is 7. All right, just the same. But it always helps to understand, to have the conceptual understanding of what you're doing. All right, that's why many of the times many persons don't like math so much, all right, because they don't have the conceptual understanding. But when you understand what you're doing, makes life a whole lot easier. All right, thank you so much for sticking with me to the end, and thank you guys for helping me to reach 1,000 subscribers. Please help me to reach 2,000. So we're on a 2,000 subscriber journey. Thank you guys. Please give this video a whole lot of like, a whole lot of love. If you haven't yet done it, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time, blessings and peace.